A 1, a 2.
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
Brock Lobster beat McCarron. Peyton Manning does HGH. Went to overtime. Al Jazeera. Brock Lobster. Brock Lobster. All right.
We really faded it.
That was really good.
Yeah, we've had better.
I just said words.
Yeah.
I just said Al Jazeera.
Your band let you down.
It felt right. No, it was
The
my
Mouth
fault.
Fans, we've done
Hello,
better.
everyone who's still here. Welcome to the Garbage Time Podcast. I'm your host, Katie Nolan, accidentally wearing sweatpants and a really nice shirt if you're watching this on YouTube. Today's podcast brought to you by Adidas. Stop wasting your workouts. Start finding your more with tracking and training gear from Adidas. Fit Smart and Smart Run give you the stats that matter and coach you to improve every step of the way. Search Fit Smart or Smart Run at adidas.com today, right now, within the next 5 minutes. I'm joined today by producer Matt.
Hey, Katie.
Hi, Matt. And producer Dave.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. Later in the show, I'll be joined by Fox NFL insider Jay Glazer. Here is a quick moment from that chat.
And I've talked to the other insiders about this too. Like, we all don't have to have everything, right? Let's all play. And I call those guys before your season. Hey, good luck, man. We need each other. We need this kind of fight. We need this battle. Good luck. Let's have fun. Don't be cheap. Don't be dirty. Let's not steal each other's crap. And it's just gotten to the point now though where them and NFL Network, they'll tell our people, we don't care. We're just going to do it. So I just think that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't steal.
I'll agree with you
It's
on
one of
that.
those commandment things. You don't steal.
If you want to skip ahead to hear the rest of that, it will be about 20 minutes in. Am I nailing that every time I say it, or are we pretty off?
Pretty close.
I talk a lot.
Pretty close.
Speaking of talking, let's talk about things like the show this week.
Yeah.
We had last week off because it was a holiday. And then this week we came back. A couple of you came back on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Very good, Dave.
that's what's up. Because we had a big day on Monday. We did that shoot. If you watched the show last night, you know that we did a shoot with Kevin Burkhardt where he called all the big sports moments of the year, 2015, and I reenacted them in costume
You crushed it.
in front of a green screen.
It was insane to watch.
It was insane to do. And I still wish that somebody were standing behind all of us filming like what was happening just off camera on either side. But what happened was we saw, who was it? Corden
Yep.
did a thing with Tom Hanks where they ran through a bunch of his movies. I think he's done it before with like Matt Damon, right?
He might have.
So he did it with somebody. And they just stand in front of a green screen, the background changes based on the movie, and it lets you know what movie it is, and they act out a famous scene from the movie, and there's props and stuff. The thing is, and what I love about our show, is that show, James Corden's show, has a huge fucking staff of people. And like that looks like a quick and easy thing to do, but to pull it off, you've got to like have a crew, like at least a prop guy, a guy in charge of props. We don't have that. There's like 7 of us here, and we were like, no, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that on our show. And so we had Ashley was like standing just off camera, coordinating all the props to hand them to me and like putting them on my face. Garrett was like throwing things at me, and also his foot kicked me in the face.
Great foot game.
You were on, producer Matt was on cue cards.
Did a hell of a job.
Producer Dave was on the ding,
Yeah.
the ding bell. Everybody was doing something. There wasn't even a person available to take a photo of what the fuck was happening. It was insane, and it was one of those things that we did it twice, but you couldn't do it much more than that. Like we ran through it, we walked through it, we got the choreography down, but I mean there was confetti being thrown and Skittles all over the floor, so you really couldn't keep doing it. It was one of the most insane things we've ever done. And again, sorry to do 2 visual things at the beginning of the show, but for anybody watching on YouTube, like there was commitment to the
Oh,
bit. That
my
was
God.
O'Toole's first time seeing that, because did you hear his actual reaction? He went, oh!
To describe what's
Wow.
She has a really black and blue
Bruise on my knee,
bruise
yeah.
on her knee from
Size of like a cantaloupe.
watching you go through it. Like you legit were like, it was a workout. Because
If you're gonna do it, you gotta
Yeah.
do it. You can't
Yeah.
half-ass that bit.
You crushed it.
It was incredible to watch, seriously. I
It was
thought, like,
fun.
we've worked together a long time. I thought that was the best performance I've ever seen out of you. It was
Really?
insane. Yeah.
Thanks, producer
Yeah, it was
Matt.
really cool.
And producer Dave, you crushed that. You had to pick all the events and
You did a
script it
great
out,
job.
and you worked all week which is fine because like you don't really do Christmas, so I don't feel bad. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So yeah, everybody did great. That was really well done. All right, last week of the NFL regular season, guys.
Oh,
really sad.
unreal.
So you know what that means we got to do.
Fade some picks?
Oh, I was going to say eat wings, but let's fade some picks.
Fade that pick. These picks are being made by someone with absolutely zero gambling expertise, so if you choose to bet actual money on these picks, you're stupid and don't care about money because these picks are all probably going to be wrong. So definitely fade these picks.
All right, you guys know how it works. My producers give me some info on a few games. I make my picks, but I tell you to take the opposite, which is known as fading it, because my picks are stupid. Last time we did this, I went 1-3 and lost my lock of the week, so I'm crushing the fading thing. So my overall fade that pick record, Dave, is what?
12, 17, and 1.
Yep.
And 2 and 6 on your locks of the week. So to be clear, if you've actually been fading Katie's picks, you've actually been winning money.
You're welcome.
Yep.
That's my Christmas gift to you. Everybody that works here got books. You got money. I'm your grandmother, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, let's get started. First game.
Jets at Bills. Jets -3.
All right, this is an interesting one.
Yes.
Because who was it? Boobie Dixon, who said that this is like their Super Bowl, the Bills.
Right.
He's like, we are going to spoil this. This is our Super Bowl.
That
I
is
love that.
sad.
I
Very
wish my
sad.
name was Boobie.
Do you?
No, you're right. I'm immediately going to back off that point. Matt, you want to give me some stats or better nicknames?
I don't have any better nicknames for you, but I can tell you that the Bills did beat the Jets earlier in Buffalo this year.
Yep.
But this is kind of crazy, actually. Strength versus strength. Buffalo, best rushing offense in the league. Jets, best rushing defense in the league.
Buffalo
often
is
does
the
that
best.
happen?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that kind
Surprising.
of interesting? Yeah, Williams, McCoy,
Would never
Tyrod
guess
Taylor
that.
runs quite a bit. I was
Never
surprised by that.
saw. I'm curious here, Katie, get your take on this. The Jets, if they win this game, they're in the playoffs, or if Pittsburgh loses, they're in. And that's partly because last week the Jets beat the
I don't
Patriots
know. I don't want to go
in
to
overtime.
this. Why do we do
I
this
have
to me?
to ask, what were you thinking watching that game
I'll
when
tell
they
you.
chose to kick an OT?
I'll tell you, first thought was, thank God we didn't go. 'Cause I was supposed to go to that game. I didn't go. Thank fucking God. I would have been I just would have been upset. And I also would have been very confused because that's like one of the downfalls of watching football live is that you miss a lot of you wouldn't have known that there was confusion around the coin toss and whatever. My first thought was that Slater just didn't, like muscle memory, he tried to like defer the way we normally do. And then it was like, no, that's not what happened. I don't like it. I don't understand it, but I'm pretty sure that what definitely happened was that Bill found out that they just needed to throw the game. And so that's definitely it. Because there's nothing else. I've run through every possible scenario. It's like, oh, that could have made sense. Nothing makes sense except that Bill was like, yeah, we should lose this game. So let's just kick the stupid fucking ball.
What about the scenario of he was so confident in the defense that he's like, I'd rather get a quick 3
We
and
lost
out.
like 3 defensive players in that game. There's no confidence in the defense.
It was, that was the weirdest theory to me. It was like, oh, he wanted to get a quick 3 and out and get better field position to come back and get a field goal.
Because the
It's
only
ridiculous.
logic that there really ever is from my coaching background with the way the way overtime is now, the only logic there is that like, because even if they get a field goal, you still get the ball back.
Right.
But I don't think that would have been, I don't see in what situation we would have just thought that he threw the game on purpose, guys. That's what happened. He threw the game on purpose because he got a little notification on what I imagine is his flip phone, like he's got like a Nextel, and it was like, brrr, or whatever it does.
Oh, okay.
And then he found out that he just needed to, because what happened in Pittsburgh, that's what happened.
Right.
Those are my thoughts. Matt, what's your pick?
I am going to go with the Jets. I was pretty impressed last week, and the Rex Ryan factor to me, I think it's overrated. He's an under 500 coach for his career. Jets must win.
Cool.
I'll take Jets -3 here too. I think I agree with Ford. I feel like everyone wants this to be like, well, the Bills, they're treating this like their Super Bowl. It's just, that's bullshit to me. It's like the Jets are actually playing for a chance to get into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. A lot more motivation. I'll take the Jets.
Yeah, and they usually do really well when they're motivated. I'm going to take the Bills +3.
Fade that pick.
Because I want them to win.
right.
Because I want this. Which means the Jets are going to win. So.
Exactly.
All right, next game.
Titans at Colts. Pick 'em.
Oh yeah,
baby, here
quite
we
a
go.
matchup
A
here.
game we will
Titans and
all be
Colts.
glued to.
Here's the game everyone's watching. We're all going to talk about it. Matt, give me some stats about
man.
this game that aren't the number 0.
Well, I'm going to be talking for a while because I'm going to explain to you how the Colts get into the playoffs.
It's still an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Colts can still
They
get
can
into
get
the
into the
playoffs.
playoffs. If you walk by my desk right now, there's all these shredded newspapers and
Like A Beautiful
diagrams and
Mind.
arrows. Yeah, it's a pretty much Beautiful Mind, writings on the glass windows. So here's how the Colts make the playoffs. The Colts beat the Titans, the Jags beat the Texans, the Raiders beat the Chiefs, the Steelers beat the Browns, the Broncos beat the Chargers, the Falcons beat the Saints. That's an NFC game that has no playoff meaning, by the way. The Bills have to beat the Jets, the Dolphins have to beat the Patriots, that's likely, and the Ravens have to beat the Bengals, also extremely likely.
So up until the Broncos game, because the Monday night game was also involved in it. It was like a
Yes.
10-game parlay that the Colts had to put all their money on. We're one game in, and there's only not they got it, so
Right.
they're not eliminated yet. Each one of these things individually isn't that crazy.
Right, and it's all of them. You add them
It's
together,
nuts.
it's a 0.03% chance.
But this just makes me think of producer Garrett
Yes.
and his very first time he ever placed a bet. When we were explaining gambling to him, and it was in January or something, and there were a bunch of NBA games, and he's like, why wouldn't everyone parlay all the time? I can pick 10 winners of NBA games. So his very first bet was a 10-team parlay.
I didn't know that.
Didn't win,
No.
obviously.
Obviously.
But he was so convinced, that's not that hard.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I got this." He's like, "I'm gonna put $10." He's like, "This is totally easy." And
I
he's
feel like we should, for Garrett, get a 9-game parlay and put $1
there you
on
go.
it
I'm
and
sure
just
people are doing it.
make him some money.
I love it. Not helping these 3,300 to 1 odds here for the Colts. All their real quarterbacks are hurt.
You're saying there's a chance.
Their listed starting quarterback, Stephen Morris.
I'm sorry, who?
Yeah, he was signed off the Eagles practice
cigarette
squad
company?
this week.
The guy from Saved by the Bell?
He's never played an NFL snap. So then they signed Josh Freeman,
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, yeah.
most recently
Josh
of the
Freeman.
Brooklyn Bolts of the Fall Experimental Football League.
Sorry?
The
What?
FXFL,
Is that
which is not a television station that shows the league on repeat.
Isn't that what we're on?
Or WWE's second attempt at a football league. It's basically Zog Sports, what he plays in.
Oh my God.
So, yeah. I don't.
And no, I'm sorry. In his game with the Brooklyn Bolts this year, it's a league that has 3 teams, right? And
Yep.
in his first game, he threw 3 picks. Don't ask me how I know his stats,
kidding?
but I do. And
love it.
he
God.
didn't do well against a fake football team.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh.
It's so good.
So basically, what we're saying is the Colts have an embarrassment of riches.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
this is happening for them on Sunday.
This is
They got that.
bad.
Yeah,
like
that's
that's who's gonna be the quarterback.
I
So
don't
who do
know.
you go if you're the coach? Do you go with Stephen Morris or Josh Freeman?
I learned something interesting about Josh Freeman. He is the all-time completions leader in Bucs history. He's a proven
So you learned
quarterback.
something interesting about the Bucks.
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, I think I don't know. He had a 3,000-yard season 3 years ago. It's insane.
Did I
How does a guy
mention all
fall
the
off
picks
that
he
fast?
threw in the FX?
Yeah, I think that might be more relevant.
FU, CKey league that he's in because he didn't
That's
do
the
well.
full name when you spell it out.
Guys, I really think people are dying to hear our picks for this game.
You think so?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll get to the picks. I don't give a fuck. Now, who are you picking?
Colts, sure.
Why?
I don't know.
Love
Think
Josh
of
Freeman.
The Titans? I don't know. Colts.
Dave?
Titans.
Okay, I'll pick the Titans.
Fade that pick.
God, what a game.
All right.
Before we get to our next game, though, which we are going to do, there's one more. I want to tell you guys about SeatGeek. Whether you're looking to buy tickets to a game or sell tickets you can't use, you need to check out SeatGeek, the smartest way to buy and sell tickets for your favorite sports team. I downloaded the app recently, been messing around on it. It's actually very good. There's a seat map that everybody tries to have, but theirs is really easy to understand. It's just a very user-friendly app. I think they absolutely nail it. It's the best ticket app I've ever used or seen. They put they pull all the ticket buying and selling options from other ticket sites into one place, which saves you time, which I love. They also know the fair market value of every ticket and use that info to show you the best deals to help you find underpriced seats. That's cool, because I don't a beautiful mind everything the way you do, and I like other people to figure it out for me. If you have tickets you can't use, SeatGeek will help you price them on their site so that you can quickly sell them to another fan. Again, they do your math for you, which is sweet. And they have the lowest fees of any ticket site out there, and they always show you the full price up front. That's huge too, because I hate when I'm like, oh, it's $20 ticket. Oh no, it's $29.95 because I have to pay you $10 in fees. So they have the lowest fees out there, and if that's not enough, you guys, my listeners, get a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase. To get that, you just download the SeatGeek app. It's free. Go to the settings tab and click add a promo code. Enter promo code KATIE, that's KATIE. And SeatGeek will send you $20 once you've made your first ticket purchase. So, download the free SeatGeek app today and enter in the promo code KATIE. Bill Simmons, what do you think about SeatGeek?
Oh, Katie, I love SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best. I went to the Patriots game last week, Katie, and you know what? Bill Belichick, he meant to lose that game. He meant to lose that.
That was good.
Yeah.
The way you just said Bill Belichick, I closed my eyes.
Bill Belichick.
No, that was good.
It all comes back to the Brooklyn pick. And before we go, a 3-hour podcast on Heat from 25 million years ago.
When you do that, I just want you to blow your nose. That's
Yeah,
like my
that's
first
all
thought
it
was like,
is.
please blow your nose.
Yeah, it's really nasal.
Okay. Should we do our last game? Bye, Bill. Thanks for being here. What's our last game?
Vikings at Packers. Packers -3.
Vikings at Packers. All right. I know
game.
that I'm sitting right next to a Vikings fan, so I imagine we're going to get
Big
to that.
game, David.
Matthew, give me some stats.
This is insane. Green Bay and Minnesota this year, they're both 10-5. Between the two of them, they've combined for one win against a team with a winning record at the time, and that was when Green Bay beat Minnesota.
That's nuts.
Whoa, wait.
nuts.
Wait.
Isn't that insane? Neither of them have beaten a winning team this entire season.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Except for
crazy.
each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I have no follow-up.
No,
Your brain's
it's crazy.
exploded.
Dave,
It's like, what? How is that possible?
No, it's so
How
ridiculous.
is this, like, how is that mathematically possible? Beautiful mind, go figure that out. All right, as a Vikings fan, not sure how I feel about this, so I'm going to
Okay.
ask for some help. If the Vikings win this game, they win the division, they're the 3 seed, they play at home against Seattle in round 1. If
Okay.
they lose, there's a chance they'd be on the road against Washington in round 1. What should I be rooting for?
losing. Just want them to lose.
You think that,
You should want them to lose
and go to Washington?
and go to Washington.
Ooh, okay.
Play against the fierce Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
we got
whatever.
producer Matt as the Redskins fan here.
I know. I'm sorry, but rather than Seattle, I don't think you want to play Seattle.
It's a tough
Just a
call.
gut feeling. I just went with my gut feeling. You asked me for help. I gave you
I-
help.
okay.
Do I have to back it up with how many times they beat each other in games that are against
No.
losing teams? I don't know what you want me to say to you right now.
No, I appreciate that. I'm going to be actively rooting
was
for
so
them to
genuine.
lose.
I was feeling like super on the spot. Like, give me that advice. And also, if you root for them to lose and they win, like, okay, cool. You want to get, like, it's not the worst.
This is
Like,
like
worse
the-
things
yeah,
have
In the
happened.
division, like that'd
I
be cool.
really appreciate this advice.
Yeah, it's really good.
you.
It's really good advice.
It's going to make my Sunday so much better now. So all the NFC playoff teams are in right now. How would you rank them? Panthers, Cardinals, Skins, Seahawks, Packers, Vikings.
I would. Okay. It's tough because of injuries and stuff. Like
Okay.
the Cardinals, I feel like I put the Cardinals 1st.
I agree.
Then the Panthers.
Okay.
Then the Seahawks. Then the Packers, Vikings, Redskins. Sorry, Ford.
No, you're right. You
I
could-
mean, it's not like it's just a.
It's tough.
It's that like there's a lot of. You could maybe swap the Vikings and the Redskins. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith
we
in
might
Teddy
find
B.
out.
I love me some Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he's the
Dude's
best.
a crazy person.
It'll be
I
really fun if
loved
they play.
that. I loved that knee he took.
I'm still in therapy
I
over
love
that.
the name.
They won the
Amazing.
game. I'm still.
I made a
reeling from it.
horribly corny joke to you on Twitter, and you didn't even really appreciate it.
I was fuming.
I
Can I tell you
said-
what I did after that?
Yes.
It was pouring rain. I had no idea. I walked outside in socks, and just stood there, and my socks were soaked, and I just looked out and said out loud to no one, "Whitey Neal." That was it. I just stood out there for like 5 minutes.
Wait, what was the
reading my
corny
app
Twitter?
mentions.
The joke, I tweeted at Matt Ford so that no one else would see it in their feed because it wasn't good. I said, at his high school prom, Kirk Cousins took a knee in the punch. Because he was supposed to spike it, but he didn't know, so he took a
Thanks
knee.
for
I
explaining it.
didn't get that until now.
Yeah, you're
I'm
welcome.
glad, by the way, my
You're
Twitter
welcome.
exists just for you to bomb me with weird
You're
jokes.
welcome.
that's great.
If I think it's a good bad joke, I'll put a period in front of the
Yeah, right.
MM Ford,
Let's
but
make sure
I didn't.
everybody sees this.
I knew it was bad, but
Instead
a random
of the 12
stranger.
people that follow Matt
A
Ford.
random stranger retweeted it, and so I think I was
that's
like,
right.
oh, maybe this was better than I thought.
It was pretty
Retweeted
good.
it and favorited it. Anyway, less about me, more about this game. Matt, what's your pick? I know.
It's tough. I think I like the Packers here. I think I like them to. I think they'll have a lot of incentive to get a home playoff game. I think I like the Packers. Sorry, Dave.
You sound confident.
That's right. I'm gonna
don't
take the
feel
Packers too.
Whoa.
I honestly think the Vikings don't win this game. I think the Packers lost last week to Arizona was not the real team they are, and Packers -3.
Aaron Rodgers didn't look good last week.
I know. I just can't.
looked good
I
for a
just
while.
refuse to believe
Yeah,
that
but like
that's
he looked
actually them.
really bad last week.
I agree.
He
Yeah.
just kept doing things like getting sacked. Not really your fault, but a fumble after fumble after. I feel like he fumbled the ball. If I'm doing my math right, and Beautiful Minds says I am, about 12 times.
Yep.
He had 12
that's right.
fumbles.
Yeah, that's right.
Checks out.
Yep. I stat
and
checked
like
that. Yep.
3 pick sixes. So like the numbers show Aaron Rodgers not that good.
Let me ask my pale, invisible British friend if that's accurate. You guys have seen Beautiful Mind, right?
No, I just keep saying it because it means math. I'm gonna take the Vikings +3.
Fade that pick.
Oh, now it's time for my lock of the week. So get out a pen because there's the money game. I'm going to take the Eagles +3 at the Giants. That's my lock of the week because the Eagles lost their coach. And when you lose your coach, you go fucking nuts and have a great game. So that's, again, math and science. So that's my lock of the week, Eagles +3.
Definitely fade that pick.
Fade it, though. You still got to fade it.
I'm
Even if
not
you have
fading
feelings
that.
for it, you got to
It's
fade
really
it.
good.
Fade it.
I love that.
Fade it. Fade it. When I was in LA a few weeks ago, I got to sit down with Jay Glazer, a good friend of mine. I've learned that in this group of people, in this world that I am now a part of, if you just call someone your good friend, no one questions it. Suddenly that person's your good friend. So, good friend Jay Glazer, we sat down, and if you watch Garbage Time, the television program, you know that he surprised me with a phone call to the one, the only, Rob Ryan. And I got to talk to him, which was amazing. But then once I was done crying, actually I may have been crying at the beginning still, we continued chatting for a live podcast interview. We talked about all of his famous friends, which like I said, I'm one of them. We talked about if he feels competitive with other NFL insiders, which was really interesting and insightful. And we talked about the SpyGate tapes because I hate myself. Take a listen. Hey, Jay.
Hello, Miss Lady.
Jay Glazer, Fox NFL Insider. You've got a whole lot of titles and really impressive stuff, but I think the most impressive is you are our first live podcast in front of an audience.
Really, I like that.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's a pretty big deal. There it is. You got him to clap. That's good. Play into the audience.
Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks, folks.
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to focus, but Jay I just called Rob Ryan on Jay's phone.
And he's been texting me about you ever since.
What do you say?
I told him to look up your Tinder profile, so you guys are good.
I don't have Tinder, but I will make one for him if that's what he wants.
J-Date. ChristianMingle.com.
You ready to focus? Or are you gonna? Is this like how your life works? You're gonna be on that the whole time.
I'm not ADD. I'm like LMNOP. I'm so far gone.
It doesn't mean anything.
Which is why I have to do a million things at once.
You just made that up. You are one of the most connected people in the world. First of all, how does that feel?
It feels like I owe a lot of people a lot of favors. And I talk a lot of smack. That's all I do. There's the ADD.
Yeah.
You talk, and I think I bring everybody else down to my immaturity level.
Yeah, you definitely
I really do. Yeah. There's value in that. There's like a
Just put it on silent,
Excuse me,
bro.
that is Rob right there. There is I talk to everybody the same.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're like my grandmother or Rob Ryan or the commissioner or the Rock or the governor or whoever. I talk to you the same. So it's like a dudism type of thing.
Yeah, well, so I'm not a dude, but I still like it.
Yeah, but you have it too.
How does
Some
that...
people talk to you too.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right.
How does that happen, though? How do you get started? Like, how did you make contacts? How did you then turn those contacts into other contacts? Like, walk me through, because it fascinates me.
I think, how I started in a giant locker room in '93.
Yeah.
My first friend was Michael Strahan, never had, and we've been together ever since. It's our 24th anniversary coming up.
Really romantic.
Thank you. And I looked at all the other reporters in there, and I said, oh my gosh, well, I don't really have the education that they have. I don't have I didn't go to school for this. I didn't really have, I only have looks, clearly. I didn't have everything else, but they're like all these award-winning journalists. And I said, okay, how can I be different? You know, most people just want to kind of just go in with the flow, right? I looked and said, okay, the only thing I can do is be different. How could I be different from everybody else in here? And I did. And it was that dude factor that I raised that up. And they also have like a pack mentality in the New York market. That's why if you read newspapers, they'll all have the same story about somebody. Everybody will have if you're doing a Eli Manning story, everybody will have an Eli Manning story, right? Or a Brandon Marshall story, everybody. So while they all went with the one guy, I would forge relationships with the other 52 the whole time. You had an hour and a half, in the locker room. So every day I would just forge these relationships, and I said, I'm not going to go for a scoop. I'll go for the relationship. And then eventually those players called every other player in the league and said, there's one dude out there who has no vested interest. He'll treat you like crap, but at least you know you're getting the truth. So everybody else has in your life, you got your wife or your baby's mom or your agent or your team or whatever. They all have an opinion. He doesn't. He'll tell you the truth. And then there's value. And at the time, free agency was just starting, and a lot of the assistant coaches, they were trying to find out about free agents. And my name got around, and it was before that internet thing took off, which I was shocked it took off. And so they started calling me, these coaches, trying to find out about these players. And those same coaches now are John Fox and Sean Payton and Lovie Smith and all the relationships I've built over the years. So I'm a relationship broker.
So I have like 5 friends, and I don't respond. I have trouble responding.
Am
to
I
their
in
emails
that group?
Of course, it's you, my mom. I'll go through them later. But like I have trouble responding to texts and emails and maintaining those relationships. You have like 1,000 friends. How do you maintain? I know now how you got them.
Right.
How do you maintain?
Well, that's just football. And I think I became like the NFL's bartender, right? The league's bartender, right? And and then it became, well, the NFL is the greatest reality show in America. Yeah. So now everybody else wants to be part of that. So you started meeting people in that industry, and you just click with people. I just, I talk. I can't stop talking. So when I meet people, right?
About you.
And can you let me talk, please? So I think when I just started meeting people, again, there's nothing political about me or scripted at all, right? When I go up to people, everything for me is usually like life's my locker room.
But are you constantly...
And I'm not telling you doing, and it could be the governor.
On your phone all the time?
Yeah, nonstop.
Do people in your life hate that?
Women, yeah.
Yeah.
Ruin every relationship I ever had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everyone.
Wow.
Don't fry me, River. I'm happy being single. We're good, actually.
I was gonna say worth it or...
No, it really is. But I will tell you this. There have been times, and I was married for a very, very, very short period of time. Very short. Although not short enough to get it annulled, so I got screwed. But,
wow,
yeah,
just
but
missed,
short enough,
just
you just missed
over
it, yeah.
the...
And there were times when I would have, when they first put the
you had a Bluetooth?
Before the Bluetooth, like the string came down with you put it in your ear, the earbud, and
definitely.
It hooked into your phone, right?
Yeah.
First, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I put that here, let's say the early Bluetooth, and we'd be out at like this, at a like wonderful romantic restaurant, and all of a sudden someone called, and I was like, oh my God, we got to make it, like we're really cuddling and canoodling in this restaurant. And she's like, are we? No, the Redskins are calling. And I'm like just talking to her so that people couldn't see, and it was, so that was destined to go south pretty fast.
Your life is so weird.
It is, but you can't be a fair weather friend. But here's one thing. I treat everybody in my life like they can count on me. It's gonna sound a little odd, but how I go about it, they can count on me to be their pallbearer. I'll be that loyal to them. And if 10% of the people are that loyal back, I'm pretty damn good.
And since you're friends with Rob Ryan, I imagine that's why you work out so much.
That's exactly right.
So you're gonna be his pallbearer.
Right. I'm
You
good.
gotta be ready.
I may be the one to actually throw them in. So.
Yeah. Have you ever had someone that you thought was loyal to you and a friend of yours give a story to a different reporter instead?
All the time.
All the time?
Yes, because it's to this day it hurts me.
I was gonna say, how do you handle that?
It bothers the heck out of me. I'm a loyalty guy, and take all the other personality traits you want. Loyalty that's it. So yeah, it hurts me, it gets me, it
What do you
drives me nuts.
shoot him a text like what the?
I'd lay some Jewish guilt on him. Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. But here's what happens a lot of times also. There's been guys I've helped get jobs in this league, and all of a sudden they get a little success, and wow, now everybody wants to talk to me. And then I have one particular former head coach, actually two right now, who today have been just wearing me out to call him back, but these guys kind of drop me as now everybody wants to talk to me, kind of drop me over time, and now they're out of work or they've been fired and want to get back into it, and they're trying to get me to get, and they're trying to get me to help them get back in. I'm absolutely not.
Rob's not one.
They broke the covenant.
He's not a head coach, but he could be. I feel like between insiders, like you and, I don't know, Schefter.
But I don't.
Competition?
Nope.
Sparring?
I don't look at myself in there. I think we're two totally different things.
Why is that?
Because I like to do personality stuff. They just report. I think I love the reporting stuff until it got really dirty. This is disgusting business now. People,
so it is really
people can
competitive.
care, but no, people care less if they get something right
Yeah.
or wrong. I only care if I get something right. So I've missed in a million stories. I've held stuff to make sure it's right. And then even when you do it now, they just steal it from you. That's okay. That's how the business is. I care more about that every time I put something out there, as outlandish as it may seem, hey, Jim Harbaugh will not be the head coach of the 49ers next year, no matter what. As outlandish as it seems, people can go, he said it, we take it to the bank. No one gives a crap anymore if they get things wrong. And there's no accountability. I hate the business as a result of that now, because you work so hard to make sure that you're trusted, and you can't trust, it's hard to trust anything. And it's not just football, it's news, it's sports, it's everything. And I would say 15% of maybe 25% of what I read out there is actually true.
Wow. So let's say somebody tells you something, or you hear a rumor, and since you want to make sure it's true before you report it, you're sort of going through your sources and trying to figure out if it's true. And somebody else tweets it while you're vetting it to make sure it's true.
Happened a million times.
Does that piss you off?
Yeah, it happens a million times, but at least I know that it did it because I sat in it because I wanted to make sure. And there's been times I need a 3-source minimum. And there's
Three
been times,
sources?
Yeah, gotta have, because
most journalists only need 2.
Well,
and nowadays,
but a lot of
only
times
0.
they will have told each other.
Oh.
So that's where you got to get 3 independent sources on it, and then you can't get screwed. And again, I always thought that for me was going to be the number one thing, but people don't care. They want to. And here's the thing too. I don't look at myself like my competitors at all. They don't do the stuff that I do. Right. And I've had different careers and stuff that I'm passionate about, and they are insiders, and great for them. And that's I like being considered like the most connected guy in the NFL, but it's opened up other doors for me to branch out.
To host fantasy football uncensored.
I like to have fun. I like to make people laugh and do personality stuff and do crazy stuff and come and prank phone call you with Rob Ryan. Yes. And we're able to do that. I don't want to just be a newsbreaker, if you will, anymore.
Have you ever legally considered changing your name to Sources, since that's what ESPN likes to call you so much?
Yeah, I think it was on my Wikipedia page. Somebody did change it.
Really?
Yeah, and
Sources say.
They did. And then we actually tried to update my Wikipedia page because it's all incorrect.
Really?
And totally not even close. And we can't. It's like if somebody does it that's close to you,
then
they kick it back. But there's stuff in there that is like said how I met Strahan. It's like through some agent runner, like of an agent through Jason Sehorn. Like what the hell is this dude talking? It's the craziest thing. And then it said I'm married, and that's really screwed me over because I'm not. So that is really screwed. That's the biggest thing I want to change. And all these girls all of a sudden like, oh man, and you know what, Jay?
Tell
I
them,
thought you were
need
different.
3 sources.
Yeah.
3 sources, and Wikipedia does not count. Hey guys, more with Jay Glazer coming up in a minute, but first, gotta give some love to our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick, driver of the number 10 Tax Act Chevrolet in the NASCAR Series. On the racetrack, my deal is going fast, working with my team to get our Tax Act Chevy in victory lane. Away from the track, my deal is a little CrossFit and yoga to help with balance and concentration. So what's your deal? If your deal's getting the best deal, then go to TaxAct.com. File simple federal and state returns free. TaxAct is the best deal in tax. Go to TaxAct.com. You got this.
Ready to ditch the step counters and start getting more from your workouts? Who isn't? But who has the time and money for personal trainers and fancy equipment? Adidas has the gear you need to step it up and find your more. Track the fitness stats that truly matter. I'm not talking about just steps, I mean calories, heart rate, pace, and plenty more. Adidas even gives you custom training plans to load onto your device. They'll push you to new limits that step counters never could. Pair that with a mobile app that syncs all your workout data, and really it's a no-brainer. This is the first step to a new, fitter you. This Adidas gear is designed to get you more from your workouts from day one. So if you're ready to step it up and find your more, visit adidas.com and search Fit Smart or Smart Run today. All right, back to Jay Glazer. What's the biggest scoop you ever got?
Oh,
I'm
SpyGate.
gonna want to talk about it. I don't know
SpyGate.
why I even read that question.
SpyGate, absolutely, not even close. Oh, and I really did used to play them at my parties. Like, I did on a...
The videos?
Oh, yeah, it was hilarious.
Didn't they make them destroy them?
Yes.
And you didn't destroy them?
Why would I destroy mine? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I'm gonna be on Pawn Stars one day selling that bad boy. And it is true, Senator Arlen Specter threatened me jail time because he was trying to get me to give my copy. And I was on the beach, my dad was sitting there, and I'm talking to him. I said, well, you know, Mr. Specter, he was offering me like a bigger scoop if I gave it to him. And I said, no offense, Senator Specter, I'm friggin' Bobby Thompson right now. I just hit a home run about him, you know, oh my God, the greatest home run of all time. What can you possibly give this? He said, trust me, I have something more. I said, trust you? I don't know you. I'm not gonna trust you. I'm not gonna give it. He said, well, I didn't want to go this route, but if you were not gonna play nicely, then we can hold you like in contempt of court, something like that, or withholding evidence, something.
Yeah.
But
Obstruction, probably.
obstruction of justice.
Yeah. I know, I'm a hardened criminal.
Hit me up with jail time, to which I said,
You would crush at jail. by the
Which
way.
I
You'd
said-
be so good at jail.
what the hell do I care? I said, what the hell do I care? All I do is fight and lift anyway. I'm good.
Exactly. Fight, lift, and like talk
But
behind.
then I realized there are no women there. I was like, oh no, not for me. But my dad was sitting there. He's like, do you know who you're talking to? I'm like, yeah. He's like, he's like from the Kennedy. I'm like, Dad, I know who he is. And he's like, you're telling him you're gonna go to jail. I'm like, he's not gonna take me to jail. I'm just trying to get Congress to think I'm off. And he's like, you're trying to get Congress to think that you're off. I'm like, yeah, so they just don't deal with me anymore. And he's like, son, you are not as related to us at all. Yeah, but.
Last December, this sort of goes back to that sources thing. You broke the story that Johnny Manziel would be making his first start at quarterback for the Browns. And ESPN said sources confirm. But that time specifically made you really mad. Why?
Oh, because I call them lying, cheating, stealing bastards?
Yes,
Yeah.
you got really angry. Is it like that was the one that you were fed
Oh, no,
up?
no, I'll tell you why it pissed me off. Because
found
we
it.
did it on TV from my gym. We broke the news like I was doing another thing at my gym. And like, we were doing the morning news here, Fox News here, and we were doing this whole thing here, and I got the news there, I broke it on there. And when we called kind of ESPN about it, they said something like, no, we had it too, but our reporter, so our PR guy said, who had it? They said, well, our reporter doesn't want to be named. Like, who doesn't want credit for a story? Like, yeah, hey, I just hit 3 home runs today, but don't tell anybody. I
It's also called a source.
So
If
my,
you're
it doesn't,
you don't want to be named.
no, come on. So my point was, and I've talked to the other insiders about this too, like, we all don't have to have everything, right? Let's all play. And I call those guys before the season. Hey, good luck, man. We need each other. We need this kind of fight. We need this battle. Good luck. Let's have fun. Don't be cheap. Don't be dirty. Let's not steal each other's crap. And it's just gotten to the point now though where them and NFL Network, they'll tell our people, we don't care. We're just going to do it. So I just think that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't steal.
I'll agree with you
It's
on
one of
that.
those commandment things. You don't steal, right?
I think
those
so.
10 things,
I haven't
yeah.
read those in quite some time. You also, in addition to football, super passionate about MMA to the point where you opened an MMA gym. What made you want to do
Performance
that?
center.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry. A
yep,
performance
yep.
center, which sounds like they have dance recitals there. I don't imagine that's the case.
How do you know? Thank you. Cross that off your list. You got to be passionate about something. And I boxed, I wrestled, I've done a million types of martial arts. And do I wish my passion was chess? Yeah, I do, but it's not. It's fighting. And so I fought a long time ago before anybody knew what the sport was. And like even back then, I would like hang out with Chuck Liddell and people were like, what's up with your friend with the freaking haircut with the Chinese letters tattooed in his head? I'd be like, no, don't do that with him. Yeah, let's not do that with him, all right? And those guys were, I was so excited to be part of the sport back then. We would have fights in Russian Mafia Brooklyn once. There was a illegal fight, which was great. I fought at Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall once, which is a famous place. But Chuck would go, like, he fought one time in the jungles of Brazil winner take all for like $2,500, 25-minute fight in this like rope, like I can't even explain it, in the jungle. It was
like
awesome.
A Kimbo
And it was
Slice
like,
fight?
no, it was like blood sport, and it was awesome. And there is, see, I look at it differently though. I used to look at it like, yeah, let's not tell anybody. And now I look at it like, yeah, damn right I'm different. I'm different. Yep, I am. But you're damn right I am, and different's good. But what happened was my first day here at Fox, David Hill and George Greenberg made me stop that day. I just won this tournament the day before, but I came in busted up. And they were like, what the hell happened to you? And I'm like, I just won the World Submission Fighting Championships. Like, we don't know what that is, but you'll never friggin' do it again. And I was like, well, I'm clearly not on TV for my looks. And then I realized I am on TV for my looks.
Yeah, you got a nice face.
So what happened was I had to start coaching.
Yeah.
Instead of doing something
So
else.
then you opened a gym.
And I started training these football players and like Jared Allen, Patrick Willis, Clay Matthews, and it just took off. And I started combining that with some performer stuff, and now we kind of take the fighter mentality into everything. It doesn't matter if you're a football player or what sport you are, or if you're Katie Nolan, or if you're my mom who trains her, she's a killer. And
I love that.
but we're trying to be like the Soho House of training, like only successful people amongst other successful people, you can share each other's traits.
That's cool.
And you have the fighter mentality.
If you could only watch the NFL or MMA for the rest of your life, which one do you pick?
I can't,
Well, you have to pick,
I
so
don't have
maybe
to
just
pick one.
Yes, you do.
No, I
right
don't.
now on this show, which is mine, you do have to pick.
I really can't.
But you,
I honestly can't.
but if you had to.
I don't think I could.
But like if you.
That's like you. That's like you saying you could have a one-night stand with Rob Ryan, okay, or you could just date Rob Ryan. So one's physical, one's not, but one's longer.
But
You
date
can't
Rob
pick.
Ryan and also have.
No, you can't. You date him, but you can't
Then I would
touch
date
him.
him. Then I would date
and
him.
you can't touch
Then I
him,
would date
or
him.
you get a full night with him of passion.
I would date him.
No, I don't.
I would date him.
You're just trying to get me to answer the question.
There are things other than sex that you can do.
Not with Rob.
We'll talk about this later. Ha! That's probably a good point. I want to talk about MVP, merging vets and players. Tell me about what you're doing.
So, because we've trained all these guys, and more than anything, we train like behind the rib cage and between the ears. Right? There's no reason I'm a 46-year-old Jewish guy. I should not be able to wrestle with Calais Campbell and Kyle Long and win and do well. And it is just because it's this kind of will that we've built up. So, but over the years, I've trained with a lot of military guys, and Fox has sent us all over. When we went to Afghanistan, I held a clinic out there. I did one with Benson Henderson in Korea. I've trained with a bunch of troops. And then these football players, obviously having all these relationships, there's a lot of guys who are retired and they would start, once you're done with whatever you do, I don't discard you. You're my guy, that's it. And a lot of these guys are like, man, I'm trying to help them kind of feel again and feel their worth again. And I found myself having the same conversation with players as vets. Yeah. So Nate Boyer, who's a Green Beret, and we got signed by the Seattle Seahawks this year. He and I have talked about a lot. He's my Cato Kalin right now. He's living in my casita.
That could have meant so many things.
Yeah, well, he's my houseboy. That's
Great.
it.
Cool.
So, except he can kill you from like 2 miles out.
Anyway.
So we started going over a lot of the stuff, and it's the way you kind of shift the narrative, the end of the story. So these players are coming in going, man, I'm just, I don't feel like anything anymore. Hey, whatever you did to play in the NFL, you got to use that in the next part of your life. Yeah. And a lot of them look at it like, oh man, I used to play in the NFL. No, I used to play in the NFL. You're different than everybody else, so use that. Now the transition sucks, no doubt about it, okay? But life sometimes sucks. It's on you to overcome it. So we started having this conversation and coaching guys up with this. Same thing with these warriors. It's like, hey, be all you could be, right? And you go over there and you are. And all of a sudden you're these traits that we would all love for people to work for us, right? They're loyal, they're grace under fire, they're courage under pressure. Yeah. When something that they can adjust better than everybody else, they can take direction. And
then they come back.
They come back and they're like, ooh, are you over there? Oh, are you okay? And instead they get treated like they're damaged. So we're trying to change the ending of the story. No. You come back here. What made you elite over there makes you different than the rest of us.
I love
different
that.
is good. Again, it's good. So I try to match them all up together so they walk the walk together.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We love it.
Vetsandplayers.org,
Vetsandplayers.org, yeah.
Okay, you have to do these super quick. I know that's impossible for you. I'm going to ask you 10 rapid-fire questions.
Go.
What was your first AOL screen name?
My first what?
Your first AOL screen name.
Jay Glazer 1.
Ranch or blue cheese?
Blue cheese.
First concert you ever went to?
Harry Chapin. With my stoner parents. The Garden State Art Center in Jersey.
Favorite superhero?
Wolverine.
Ketchup on your fries or on the side?
On the side.
What's your guilty pleasure television show?
Ballers. Garbage time. My bad.
You've been on both of those shows.
Well, garbage time.
Do you floss before or after you brush your teeth?
Oh, we're supposed to floss as grown-ups?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, it's a hot dog.
Thank God. Last one, you're about to be put to death. What's your final meal? I need an entree, a dessert, and a beverage.
Oh, definitely Velveeta macaroni and cheese.
Wow.
Or an entree what?
An entree, a dessert, and a beverage.
Dessert would probably be Velveeta macaroni and cheese. And then beverage, I would just squeeze the Velveeta into my...
That is exactly what I thought Jay Glazer would say. Thank you so much for doing this. You are the
Absolutely.
best. I cannot believe you called Rob Ryan.
Love you, Mama. Come on over.
I love you.
There you go.
Jay Glazer, guys.
Well, that was Jay Glazer. Thanks again to Jay. And now it's time for junk mail.
You've got junk mail.
Nick Rizzo asks, when in 2016 can I stop wishing people a Happy New Year?
Is that a thing that people worry about?
Yes.
This January 2nd? I don't know.
But
I don't
okay, but what
understand.
if you don't see someone until January 3rd?
So then it's up. Is this a thing?
Yeah.
If I don't see you and it's January 12th, then I'm sorry you missed the boat. Like I don't. But like if I see you and it's just a thing I can say, just like hello, it's an easy. Like small talk without being like, oh, how about that weather? It's, how was your New Year? You use it when you have to. And if you want and you haven't seen someone and it's March and you need to bail on a conversation, you've got nothing to, how was your New Year?
Okay, but...
You say like, do I have to? Like, so if I see you on the 2nd and I don't say Happy New Year,
Yeah.
like that's what you're at? I don't understand this
I think that's what he's
question.
asking. Like, is it rude if he sees you on the 2nd and doesn't say Happy New Year? Is that kind of...
Well, it's rude because I've never met him before. So if I see him on the 2nd and he doesn't say Happy New Year, well, it's probably because we have other things to talk about. Yeah. I am baffled by this question. Do you have a cutoff date, Producer Dave?
Yeah,
Just like, oh, this makes perfect sense. It's January 19th.
No, I'm going to say like January 7th. I'll say like a weekend. I understand. Like if I don't see my friends like on and it's like January 4th or something, I would be like, hey, Happy New Year. Good to see you. But after that, I'm
January
not going to say...
4th, good day.
Cool. I'm not going to say the
Cool.
word... I'm not... Cool. I'm not going to say the words Happy New Year after like a weekend.
Okay.
That's what he was
You
asking.
seem very... What about you, Matt? Does this...
I'm flabbergasted.
I don't...
I think that when you should stop saying Happy New Year is when the ball drops.
Yeah.
That's it. The
That's
ball's
fair.
dropped. I'm done.
I'm done.
Happy New Year.
The new year has
Like,
begun.
Let's do.
That's fair.
I don't know what to say to this.
The thing that's so confusing to me is that this Nicholas Rizzo character, when can I stop wishing people? As if he feels obligated to.
Has he already started?
Oh, Happy New Year. Fuck. Fine. It's January 7th. Am I done yet? Like, Nick, if you need us to absolve you of your duty, to say Happy New Year, then you're good. You don't have to say it anymore.
If you're still saying it at Valentine's Day, stop.
When can I stop wishing people a happy, as soon as you want to? Wish nobody a Happy New Year. Pretend it's Christmas, and you're not allowed to say it in public. Just say Happy Holiday, or hey, don't you wish it was 2015 still? 2015 was pretty cool. No one says that. Be different.
Perfect.
Otherwise, just fucking whenever you want to. Just stop. No one's gonna notice, I promise.
No one.
Great.
Wow, that Nick didn't say Happy fucking New Year to me. I hope his new year is garbage. I hope it's just like his old year, but worse. I don't know. This is a weird question.
We are riled up now.
We are.
Let's do a whole nother fucking podcast. We've been doing these 2 at a time usually, so I'm ready
Yeah.
for the next one. Are we going to
Do
talk
it.
about pumpkin pie?
Yes.
Does your Uncle Steve have a problem with whipped cream?
Uncle Dennis, no
Dennis.
problem with whipped cream.
Damn it.
Is your parents' Christmas tree still up?
Good question.
Wow.
Yes, I think, but I can
Okay,
check.
cool.
I
All
can
right,
find out.
we'll ask again next week.
That's it, everybody. Happy New Year, especially to Nick Rizzo 815. We'll be back next week in 2016 to do this all again. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes and rate our podcast and leave a comment. But again, only if that's 5 stars. Only if your comment's really nice, because otherwise, just maybe keep it to yourself. Just like Happy New Year. Just keep it to yourself. Or you can listen on SoundCloud or Stitcher, however you like to listen to podcasts. You probably know this by now. Thanks again to Jay Glazer, to all of you guys for listening, to producer Matt, to producer Dave, to producer O'Toole, to Ashley, to Dan. And that's it. Happy New Year, guys. Bye. Love you. Mean it.